perfect. I don't know how we get that perfect every time. It's
Well,
not
it
being
would
able
be
to hear
nice
it.
if I ever have headphones, I guess.
We might have to bring the headphones back so you can hear it. Facebook, YouTube, Simple Church. Welcome back to Backstage with the Simple Church. I'm your host, Josh. We got Pastor Justin Haigler with
Yeah,
us today.
we're only 15 minutes late
Only
because
15 minutes
we
late.
told Facebook, but go ahead and tell them what happened.
Well, I operate on BPT. So for y'all that don't know, that's Black People Time. So I have to be late for everything that I do. I'm just kidding. We had technical
We had technical
difficulties.
difficulties. We had to call Evan. We FaceTime him, and Mallory goes, "They're pulling you over because you're on your phone. They're in somewhere in Cincinnati."
I think so. Yeah, yeah.
And thank God, no,
No,
it was, but not because he was on his phone. It was because
for
he had a
brake light.
brake light out.
Yes.
Oh, come on, give it up. We're not
Yeah,
in
give
trouble.
it up.
We're
Thank
not in
goodness.
trouble. Yes.
But yeah, no. So
Hopefully it's all. Yeah, let us know if you're on, so we'll know.
oh yeah, we got a couple. We got Tina already here
Tina,
watching from home. Says she's not feeling well today. Had some
oh
treatment
yeah,
injections. Well,
she's been battling it. Tina, keep strong, girl.
we'll
Keep.
definitely be praying for you, man.
Hmm.
That don't sound great, but um, gonna be continuing talking about our series that we've been doing, chill,
Oh
trying to keep it
Lord.
chill. But this week I thought it was pretty interesting. You were talking about anger, and this is something I think this was a God moment because this is something that I can definitely speak to. So it's probably the only two of us that needed to be on here.
You need to have some time to because number one, I am not an expert on handling it right. I'm just an expert
Neither
on
am I.
messing it up and trying to get it right. I'm trying to get better.
Yeah.
I'm not there yet, but I do have some insight. I'll share a little more whenever whatever your question is. I'll try to answer it. But there's some things that I'm learning that we can talk about. So go ahead, ask the question, and I'll see if it gets to it.
Well, yeah. So, well, first, I want to get into the videos that you used yesterday. It's always interesting to me what is going to pop up on the screen because you never know. And as soon as I saw Medea on the screen, I was like, "Oh, this is good. This is
She is
good."
well. There's that whole movie was on her anger.
Mm-hmm.
And so we did a series on it back in the past, but I remembered coming back from El Paso, really, it came in my mind. I'm like, road rage, and like
Mm-hmm.
being frustrated, driving 26 hours in a week,
Yeah,
you
yeah. I
know.
just finished 16 hours in a car with my kids going to
Oh,
Atlanta.
yeah,
It
I
was
didn't have, I had just college
well, it
kids.
was 8 there, 8
Yeah,
back. It wasn't 16
yeah,
in a row, but
yeah.
yeah. But yeah, that can be tough with kids. But yeah, the what's wrong with Jermaine Dupri? That gets me tickled every time.
But it is the best.
So, what are some of the biggest things I guess that cause some anger with you? Is there certain triggers that are more than others, or
That's a good question. All right, so here's what I am learning,
mm-hmm,
and I mentioned it in the message that in the human emotion of anger,
mm-hmm,
you may lash out in anger, but there most of the time is an underlying issue of this is not fair.
mm-hmm,
So, spouse, kids, work, whatever it is you feel like, I feel like everybody who has experienced this, like, this is not fair. So, you respond in a way that, um, you know, it, you lash out in anger. You process that. You put that out there. So, for me, bottling it up for a while is what I was doing. So I'd have an incident after an incident after an incident, which typically I'm not a bottler.
mm-hmm,
I don't stuff it. But on those situations, I just suck it up. I'm busy. I got to get this done. But I felt like someone ignored when I was and needed help. They
mm-hmm,
ignored me. People drive by when I'm trying to do stuff. It's like I'm not going to help them.
mm-hmm.
So then it's starting to go. This isn't fair. Like, wait a second. I'm working. I'm the leader. If you see me working, offer to help. So then I don't really say anything. Where I was wrong is ask, express my feelings. Hey, this is really frustrating to me. I wish you would help, but I didn't. And then as it bottled up, it blew up
Mm-hmm.
because I had reached my tired, stressed, which led to anger. And then the people that you love, like I said, whether that's a spouse or a coworker or a kid,
Or whoever, yeah.
you blow up on them and you're like, oh, probably wasn't the best because you use words or frustration or tone or all of those things that are so hurtful. But to me, it's not just a thing; it is upon reflection and some knowledge of listening to anger experts, because I'm really trying to understand it. Not just anger as emotion. I'm working on maybe a new series in the new year on emotions in general.
I think that'd be
And
good.
the reason why is because we really don't understand our emotions.
Mm-mm.
And the quote that has gotten me going down anxiety this coming week, anger,
Mhm.
and these others is, let me see if I can find this quote. I think I have it. Is basically, um,
Why you find that? I do think that's good talking about emotions and how we don't always understand them because I think back to the movie Inside Out and Inside Out 2, two of my favorite Pixar movies. If you've never seen those, check those out. But uh, you know, Riley, I believe the girl's name is through both movies, it's her not understanding her emotions, how to deal with them. And the second one, she's kind of dealing with going through puberty and kind
yeah,
of working her way through middle school and that type of stuff. And a lot of times, even as we always think that young kids, they're the ones that don't understand their emotions. It's like, no, most of the adults are the ones that
yeah.
don't seem to be in tune with what they got going on.
So here's the quote:
Mm-hmm.
Success in virtually every aspect of life, career, friendships, love, family, is determined mainly by one thing: how you deal with your emotions.
Mm.
As opposed to working hard, work ethic. It's like if you don't learn to control your emotions, understand your emotions, um, then those things can ruin a workplace.
Mm-hmm.
Like me, I mean, blowing up on Amber, I've said it a bunch. Poor Amber probably like tired of me talking about everybody like, what'd he do? Oh my God, what'd he do?
I'm sure you've
Or
blown
whatever.
up on others,
Oh yeah, I can
kids.
give you a long
Yeah,
list.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
remember I grabbed Ian by well, like one of the stories I used to say a lot was grabbing Ian by the shirt collar,
Mm-hmm.
and like I had bottled it in because if you go back to the root of why I was angry,
Mm-hmm.
Dad is working.
Mm-hmm.
Dad is stressed out trying to get everything done. We were moving, and it was unfair. You're not assisting me. I've asked you. You're going to ignore me or you're going to do something else. And I'm lashing out because I'm telling you I don't like being treated unfairly.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at Jesus in the examples I gave in the scripture, and this is what's fascinating to me, all of the four examples that I gave that we find in the New Testament were he did not like the way the person was being treated.
Mm-hmm.
It was unfair. It was injustice. So it wasn't personal for him. It was personally that person was being. His anger is a little different than mine. Mine is like poor me, or I can't believe it's happened to me. So
Mm-hmm.
you recognize his was like I don't like the way they're being treated, but it's still the premise or the underlying truth of it's not fair. So if you go back to why you get mad at your wife or why you get mad at anybody else, is it's like this isn't fair.
Mm-hmm.
An umpire. That's why I made the whole sports references. Like I saw some coaches yesterday, and they were like, they're basketball coaches, and they were like,
I'm sure
"Well,
they.
what we're trying to say is like sometimes we got to get a little loud because they're not doing it right." And I was
Uh-huh.
like, "No," and your perception is it is unfair.
As somebody who's been on the other side and been repping before, it's a
Yeah.
little harder than it looks.
Right, yeah, and it's like I'm trying to call it fair, but
Right.
your perception is it is not fair.
Right.
So I'm angry about that. I'll give you a good one. Like we were talking about me and my brothers a month ago, like time off.
Mm-hmm.
It's your perception is this is unfair. But if it's in the upside of whoever the boss is angry because they're going, this is unfair.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like all of the battle, whether it's a work battle or a home, you come home and the dishes aren't loaded, the
Mm-hmm.
clothes are not washed. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's just say it's a stay-at-home mom versus a working dad, or a stay-at-home dad versus a working mom, whatever it is. They come in and go, "This isn't fair. I've worked all day. You couldn't get anything done."
Mm-hmm.
So you either,
Not knowing
so
all.
yeah, right. So you either bottle it up, you don't say anything, or you lash out in anger. But either way, the underlying issue is I feel like this is not fair. I could give, I'm mad at God. It's not fair that I have cancer and somebody else doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm mad about it. I am
Why
angry.
me? Yeah.
Why me? So it's like it's just this. anger, and that's why when I really went back, I'm like, why did I lose cool? Why did I lose my cool? What should I have done? What could I have done? Well, there's a thing that, I mean, we can do it here on the podcast because there's not very many listeners. It's not like I'm gonna blow the series, but I'm listening to a emotions expert.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so just think about this. This is somebody who studies emotions, human emotions.
Interesting
And
job.
the thing that I thought was fascinating, they uses an acronym called RULER.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, RULER. So I went ahead and wrote it down just because I thought this is pretty interesting. And that is recognize what emotion you were feeling
Mm-hmm.
or you're seeing. So if it's a friend, a spouse, a coworker, is like, do I recognize they're angry? Do I recognize they're sad? Do I recognize they're happy? But whatever, because we're talking about angry, uh, you might could pick up on that looking at people by their expressions and by their. Sometimes you can't.
Yeah.
Okay. The other one is then understand why that person is, or why you're feeling that way. So pause a little bit and kind of go like, let me understand what's going on here. Well, man, I bet
Or
he's stressed. I
as
bet
your
he's
brother
tired.
puts, help me understand.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then you have to label
Mm-hmm.
what emotion it is. So, the best of your ability, what are you seeing in there? Is it anxiety? Is it fear? Is it sadness? Is it what am I seeing here? Because now you're going, I'm recognizing it. I'm trying to understand it.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm even going to kind of label it. And then it's going to go back to express an emotion, how
Mm-hmm.
you express that. You're looking at how they express it, you're looking at how you express it. And then the last one is regulate how you express it. So, like a healthy way to regulate anger is to, like I said, Sunday scriptural, just hold your tongue. Don't lash out in harmful things that you're saying. Maybe it is pause. Maybe it is take a walk. Maybe it is like, hey, I need to regulate the way I feel right now. I'm not feeling well right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to take a little time before I let this blow up. And then teaching your kids that it's okay to, like, it's not wrong to be angry. So
No.
it's okay to be angry. Well, then you got to figure out, how am I going to express that anger? It is wrong to throw stuff against the room, to break things I've just given you, to cuss somebody out, to bang on their windshield like we saw, or their window like we saw. So it's, and in your success in business or in life is highly reflective of your ability to regulate your emotions. You could be super smart.
Oh,
You could have a lot of
yes.
money, but if you can't manage your emotions,
Mm-hmm.
you ain't going to accomplish it.
Yeah. I tell Layla all the time, Layla, my oldest, she's brilliant. She's a great kid, all the right things, you know, Jesus centric and all of that. But a lot of times she has moments where she, blows up, gets angry or
Yeah.
whatever. And I think the biggest lesson that we always try to tell her, the phrase she probably says she always hears from me, it's not about what you say, it's about how you say it
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times. And a lot of times, she can come off and, hey, Layla, can you go clean up your room or can you go do whatever she doesn't want to do when we ask her to do it. And a lot of times it's, no, I don't want to do that, or
Right.
whatever her response is. And it's not that she's necessarily wrong for being upset. She was relaxing,
Yeah.
chilling, doing whatever she wanted to do, and she just didn't want to get up. And it's not wrong to be upset about having to get up, but we got to think about how we express that, like you said with
Yeah.
the acronym there.
Yeah. And again, I'm not an expert. I mean, I'm really trying to study this way before I ever go public with it, but I'm bringing it up because when I look back at like where I messed up and where I continue to mess up is one, and me and Andrew were talking about this. The other thing that we can all be really guilty of is projecting what we believe to be someone's emotion on them, and it's not their emotion.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, for
Got in trouble with
example,
that recently.
you come in and their face is solemn. Why are you mad? I'm not mad.
Mm-hmm. And then that person's defensive because
Then it
like, what do
goes
you think
into,
I'm mad
okay,
for?
why are you sad? I'm not sad. So the question I think that I've heard over and over again from people who are helping me understand emotions, the best phrase to ask your kids, to ask your wife, to ask a coworker, to ask a friend, ask yourself is, how are you feeling?
Mm-hmm. And not the, oh, I'm fine, but really.
Right. Yeah. Then just go, it's okay, but it's okay to feel however you feel today, but how are you feeling? Where had someone seeing me in the condition that I was in when I blew up,
Hmm.
if somebody said, "Hey man, how you feeling? You okay?" I'd be like, "Man, I'm stressed.
Hmm.
I got these things going on or pressured." And I learned this about pressure is like there's a big difference between stress, pressure, anxiety, all these different words we all use.
Hmm.
But I've understood that pressure is when there is too much to accomplish and no one seems to help. So you feel the pressure, you know, it's
Hmm.
like
The
it's
weight.
the weight of it. And so what you're wanting is if you recognize where I was like I'm wanting someone to see that and get in the fight with you.
Yes.
Not just go. So if it's a child, it's not I'm mad that you didn't get the room cleaned up. Like when they come back, it's just like, what are you overwhelmed with? I feel overwhelmed. Well, let's talk about why you're overwhelmed. What is that? What's that feeling?
Hmm.
What or I'm stressed or I feel like, oh my gosh, I just can't do this or I don't know if I'll be able to. Then you got to kind of take the time to go, that feeling's valid. And then what are we going to do to kind of work through that? So you're recognizing it, you're trying to understand it,
Hmm.
then you can appropriately label what it is,
Right.
then of the appropriate way to express that, and then how can I regulate that? That's why to me, if I can, I'm learning it. I'm not by any means. This is, people that are studying emotions are like, I mean, I'm talking about like Princeton, Yale. I mean, these are
Oh
all
yeah, yeah,
people
yeah.
that I'm just going like, no, there's a lot of truth in that because on a Christian level, that often gets left out. We don't really talk about our emotions.
Hmm.
And if we can create safe places for your kids or church people or friends or coworkers to go, this is the way I feel. I'm angry. I'm sad. and then realize that all your emotions are not permanent. There's
Yeah.
never there's never an emotion that stays with you forever. So somebody said, "Well, I'm sad." Well, they're not. You're not always going to be sad because you can probably, if you pause right now and think back to a time you were happy, might
Hmm.
have been a day ago, an hour ago, a week ago, but they're not permanent. Or I'm angry. That's right. It's okay to be angry right now, but you're not always going to be angry.
No.
They're not permanent.
All these feelings, they'll pass eventually.
Right. And you have permission to feel those things. You have permission to go, this is the way I feel right now. So, like I said, I'm not an expert. I'm just trying to make sure I get the information out there. And then, like, worry is this week.
Hmm.
So, anxiety and all of this stuff. Well, I'm going back to this. It's interesting. So, I'm really trying to understand why we can't chill and what our excuses are, and whether that's the anxiety of genuine fear or a worry, and what's the difference? Anxiety, fear, or worry?
Hmm.
And we're gonna unpack that a little bit this week, but I'm not going to try to
Well,
blow
yeah,
this week's
don't
message
blow
when I'm
that
trying
one
to
too
talk
quick.
about
Yeah.
last week's a little bit.
Well, no, I think that one will definitely be very prevalent because I know it's rampant amongst the youth and just kind of everybody now with everything that's going
I'm
on in
going to
the
give you
world. But
one example for youth.
mhm.
This is interesting. There was a study done. Don't know. I think it was Yale. Not sure. They went and asked high school students, "What do you feel right now?" So they went to your feelings.
Mhm.
They were like tired, stressed, and bored. Those were the predominant feelings. Okay.
Sounds about right.
So they were like, okay. So they dove into, did they really understand what they were feeling? Or was there a root to why they felt the way they felt? Now, this is interesting.
Mhm.
So, upon further study and reflection and going a little bit deeper into it, they found out that the real emotion was envy. It wasn't tired, stressed, and bored. It was that social media had driven them to the place that when they
Yeah.
engaged in social media, I'm bored because somebody else is on vacation and I don't have that.
Mhm.
And they would come back, and whether they'd say, well, I'm stressed, it was because I don't look like her.
Mhm.
I'll never add up. So what happened was like I'm envious of all these other things, But the only way I know to express that is to give you the words that I'm familiar with. Well, I'm
Tired. I'm
tired.
bored.
Yeah, because I'm worn out from trying to keep up.
Yep.
I'm stressed because I'll never be like them. And I'm bored because I'm not living the life somebody else is living. When they cut all of that out, they got down to the root of, man, no, I'm really just envious.
Yep.
So I'll give you one other one. This is an interesting because you're talking about your dad. Then this was one that I could resonate with. A dad throws a fit in the toy aisle. So in other words, kid's throwing a fit, and all of a sudden the dad comes in. He wanted a toy. You're not going to get it, and you begin to get on to him. You lose your cool. I'm telling you, mate, and you're getting on to him.
all the things.
Okay. Well, then they go, why is the dad? What is he feeling? People would say anger. Why is he mad? Well, because the kid didn't act that way. But then only that person could understand this. But when that person stops and goes, why did I lose my cool? Well, because of shame that I don't have the money to give you what you want. And that makes me lash out in anger. So the anger is the emotion that you see, but the deeper issue is, man, I'm not good enough as a dad. I don't have enough money. I don't. So just like the kid may say, well, I'm bored or I'm stressed, but the truth is they're very envious.
Yeah.
Because they're like, man, I can't ever get where they're at. So then some of the solutions, which we'll talk a little bit about this week,
to lead into that, yeah.
is gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
Like stopping and going, when you're feeling those things, whether that's whatever emotion it may be, is just pause and reflect on what all God's done. So then when you can teach your kid, yourself, that's why I like going to Mexico, mission trips. What those things do, how it connects for me is it helps you with gratitude because it gives you perspective.
Mm.
So like if you're only seeing what you see, and if you never study it, if you never learn it, if you never understand it, then it's even hard to recognize.
Yeah.
So then if you can go off and when you get to another country or whatever, all of a sudden now you go, why is it that a kid that has nothing is happy emotion than your kid who has everything?
Mm-hmm.
Because they've not understood and they're not recognized. And then that's why they could come in. I saw Derek Stroop. He said his nephew came into him and he was holding a tablet and something else. It's a very funny clip. And he was like, how you doing, nephew? And he said, I'm bored. He goes, son, you look like a kid from the future. He was on a hoverboard. He had a,
oh, yeah.
yeah. And he was just like, how could you be bored? But it's it's what they perceive.
They feel like they should be doing more,
That's right.
seeing more,
Yes.
more vacations,
Back to envy
more,
or comparison,
yeah.
thief of joy, all those different things. That's why I say all of those things are challenging for us because my family didn't teach us that. We weren't growing up. So if we can teach it, if you can understand it and you can learn just the phrase with your kids, I mean, how are you feeling today? And give them permission to feel sad or tired or lonely or happy or that's cool. Well, tell me that.
And it's funny you mentioned the part about being grateful for what you have and just going on mission trips. I did decide, I think it was this past weekend, it was this past weekend. It was 2 days ago. That we will definitely, me and Layla, be going on a mission trip next year because she went to go get some water the other day and grabbed one of the cups out of the cabinet and said, I can't drink out of this. This is dirty. I said, oh, baby, let me help you. We can clean it out. And I looked in the cup. It was one tiny little black speck in the cup. Not dirt, not anything. It was just I don't even know. And I said, what, you couldn't rinse this cup out? And she goes, and then it was kind of stained. She's like, oh, it's stained. I'm like, baby, you're drinking out of a plastic Mardi Gras cup. You're going to be okay. And that was when I realized, yeah, we got to change some things.
Yeah. Well, and we're all guilty of it. Yeah. It all depends on the day.
And it's not her fault because, I mean, she's been afforded the life she's been afforded. She doesn't know that there are kids who don't have a cup to put water in, nor do they have the water to put in a cup. So, she's learning just like the rest of us. But, yeah, we got to get some perspective in there.
Well, then here's some more perspective for you. Okay. So if you're happy, you have a good habit of deleting all the things that make you mad. But if you're mad, you have a really good habit of deleting all the things that bring you joy. So like it's what you focus on.
I feel like we're more prone to the latter.
Right. Well, if you're mad, you're deleting all the things that bring you joy. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like as people, we're more prone to that.
Yeah. So instead of focusing on the good, the
Hmm.
positive, you focus on the negative. And the next thing you know, you feel more negative and you feel more angry. Like, for
Hmm.
example, had I, in the midst of my recognizing my anger, was look at all the things that we did have, for example, hey, man, there's a lot of things we were able to accomplish. There's a lot of people working today where instead
Hmm.
of I didn't see it because I was stressed and tired, which led to me not seeing things correctly, which led to anger, which led to an explosion where if I could have just said, hey, when it started with me and Amber, if I would
Hmm.
just say, hey, I'm really not in a good place today. I think I'm gonna probably need to take a break before we talk about all this. And walked away, had
Yeah.
patience, and held my tongue, then it would have been a different thing. But then, whatever it is, it would be your wife, your kids, or whoever, and then you go, let me go see things differently because if I'm not so tired, I might see it clearly.
Yeah.
And then also, what can I delete? What can I get out that's so negative to help me to see the positive? Like really help me to see the positive. Help me to be grateful today. Help me to, you know, walk a little closer to you.
Yeah. And that's one of the things my wife, Courtney, she's pretty good at about, there'll be times she'll come up to me and be like, hey, I don't got it right now. I need like an hour. Like,
Yeah.
can you handle the kids or whatever they're doing? And I'll go, get Chloe down from swinging from the ceiling fan or whatever she's doing. But,
I'll
just,
remember those days.
but being able to recognize in those moments, like, I can't be my best self. And if I don't get a break or don't get some sort of reprieve, then it's not going to be good for anybody,
Yeah.
including herself, myself, or whoever.
Well,
And I'm
that goes
trying to get
back to
better
the
about doing
ruler.
that
She's
too.
recognized her own emotions
Yeah.
and she understands that and she's correctly labeling that
Hmm.
and then going, you know what? Like, if I'm going to do this, I better be careful or I'm going to regulate it and then I
Hmm.
will express
Yeah.
it in a way that won't be beneficial to anybody in this
Yeah,
household.
she always been smarter than me in recognizing that stuff.
Yeah.
We do got a few folks in here. We got Charlotte Gomez. Hey, hey.
Homie, go me.
Bill Daughtry said hi. Hey, Josh and Justin.
What's up, Bill? Thanks for
Then we
listening.
got Carla Hayes. Hey, and
Carla.
then Teresa Cothran.
Okay.
Cothran
What's up, T?
said hi, Justin and Brian, and all the other people that are still working there when I was volunteering with the church.
That's awesome. We're still here. We're still rolling.
And then we got Krugs in here, of course, as well. And then Jesse Henson left a good comment here. It says, I work a lot, and so I've been trying to chill this last 2 weekends and kind of liking it. Sometimes I work all the time, so Justin hit me between the eyes with the chill message.
Yeah, and I'm still. Everybody gave me a hard time. They're like, "Man, you went to Mexico and that's all you did was work or whatever." I'm like, "Well, yeah. I mean, but there are moments of chill even in Mexico. Like,
Yeah,
really,
like
it's
getting
a
slapped with a tortilla.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And it's kind of like what I was saying with anger. It's like I'm in control of my emotion. I'm also in control of whether I'm gonna chill or not. So yesterday, me and Angie, we were gonna do some stuff, and I was like, "Oh, let's just chill." And we went and saw a movie Saturday, just me and her, just chilled out a little bit. And that's what I go back to is like, you are responsible for whatever actions you're going to do, whatever non-actions. Like, you can't blame somebody else. Don't point the finger. Like,
Mm-hmm.
really take an inventory, um, and then go, okay, how can I do that better? So I'm not great at it. I'm just trying to get better.
And neither am I. We're both just trying to figure
We're
it out.
just still trying to figure it out.
Charlotte also said, "Hey Justin, my pastor always says it's not about me. You should listen to some of his messages. He's pretty awesome."
Yeah, well, I'm trying. I don't know that I'm there, but
Oh, that is good.
I'm doing it. John Dudley just texted in. Hey, John, thanks for watching on YouTube, buddy.
Oh, love that. Love
Yep.
that. So, for any of y'all that didn't see the message yesterday, make sure you go back and check that out. We got it on YouTube or on the Simple Church app. But I do want to talk a little bit about a story. I asked John a little bit about it today, about his incident with the Coke machine.
That's legit. Somebody asked Chip because I wasn't in there, but I heard somebody ask Chip yesterday. That's a fact.
Chip gave a little bit rendition. You want to give him a little of a rundown for anybody listening
Yeah, I
that
mean,
didn't hear about it?
it's once
It's an
again,
example of anger.
and it's a bad expression.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, anytime you're building something, like I could think of John Dudley and all he's trying to accomplish, we're trying to accomplish things throughout the city, or you have building your family. You could go. There's all kind of things. There's stress, and there's you get tired because you're a human, And when you are tired and you are stressed, you are more likely to not regulate your emotions very well.
Mm-hmm.
So that machine, which he really did have a code red addiction, my brother drank them all the time while he was building. And when that machine did not put out that code red, he beat that machine to a pulp,
I
son.
bet he did.
And I guess that's why Coke came up with a hugging machine. They're trying to keep people from beating each other.
Uh,
They'll give you a free Coke, just show it some
it
love,
was
you
like
know?
we need a little bit of a different emotion here. We
Yeah.
need you to show
But
some love.
it's very common. I mean, you don't want to be there, but you know, how many videos have you seen dads crashing out?
Oh, I am that dad. I'm the one that's
Crash. I
crashing
mean,
out.
in most of the videos I found, really, they were also cussed full. I mean, cussing full of cussing. You couldn't use them, but we get it. I mean, your machine don't work. You're tired. You're stressed, and next thing you know, boom. You lash out. You say things. You do things that you go, oh, I don't know about that. I heard quite a few people sending me text, and I saw a guy today, and he was just like, hey man, I needed that. I am not where I want to be. Well, and that's why it goes back to regulation of it.
Mm-hmm.
Recognize where you are, understand where you are, be able to clearly label where you are. Then you can begin to manage your response
Mm-hmm.
and how you're going to regulate or express those things. And most of us don't take time to even look at that.
And it's also not the easiest thing to do in the world sometimes when you're
No,
doing self assessments and trying to look and really look at the root of what you're angry at.
right.
Because a lot of times you keep harping on the thing that you're about to blow up on or whatever this last straw that breaks the camel's back. That's what you're focusing on more rather than the thing that happened 2 days ago that set off this chain of events for you to reach this
And
blow
that's
up
why
point.
what I was saying before to me is like when you can slow down enough to learn to recognize that this emotion is happening. I didn't even recognize that I was angry at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did afterwards because it kept escalating. Wherein the truth was, I should have walked away.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I was able to recognize it and understand where I was and label it in my mind, like, this is not going well. Hey, I need to take a little break.
Yeah.
And sometimes people don't like people to take a break. They want to fight. You know what I'm
There
saying?
are
They're like,
some out
no,
there that
you ain't
want to do
going
that.
nowhere. That ain't a good plan either. Sometimes you got to be able to say, hey, I need to understand. And then realistically, like just say a husband's working his tail off trying to get everything done. He's tired, he's stressed financially, whatever. They come in, what's wrong?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you don't even know what's wrong. And so for you to go, I'm not ready to, I don't know. I'm tired. What do you think's wrong or whatever? So you lash out in words instead of being patient and going, I'm trying to figure that out. It's going to need me. I'm going to need a little bit of time.
Mm-hmm.
Same with a wife, whatever. You come in like, what's wrong? I mean, do you see how many kids are here? Do you know what I'm going through? It's like, so then you got to go back and go, anger is usually what foundational thing? It's unfair.
Yeah.
So what happens is like, I do not like the way this is going because I don't feel as though I am being treated fairly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, honey, take out the trash. Like, I just walked in the door because what you feel is this isn't fair. I've worked all day. The last thing I'll do is take out the trash. Well, she's thinking, well, I've done everything I'm supposed to do. You've done nothing.
Right.
So she's mad because and you're mad. So then the next thing you know, neither one of you are bad people.
And it's
You
because
know what I'm
nobody
saying?
has taken that step to recognize and understand.
Yeah. And just going, hey, let me slow down. Let me chill out a little bit here. Let me begin to understand. Now, the other thing, somebody told me a long time ago, I'm sometimes good at it, but not always. And that was pick a telephone pole a mile from your house or 10 miles from your house, whichever works for you.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get to that telephone pole, let go of all the stuff you carried with you up to that point
Mm-hmm.
so that you can walk in and be ready for your family or for whatever. Now, that's easier said than done, but you begin to do that by being grateful for what you have. Maybe it's a little meditation, maybe it's a little breathing technique, maybe it's a walk. You begin to go, hey, let me go get my walk on, then I'll come back. And you're breaking the cycle of whatever that negative thought pattern is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, different people are different ways. I mean, for me, walking's been good. I mean, I've walked a whole lot. The other day, I walked 4.5 miles. That's a long way, but it's really good.
It
Clears your
is.
mind. You have um, time to kind of process those things and like listen and understand.
Hmm.
Um, but when you're raising three kids and when do I find a time to do all that? It's like, well, I get it, but sooner or later, if you don't learn to recognize it and manage it, it ain't gonna go well.
Yeah. And as somebody with three kids and a wife, I do often have that comment of to myself of, well, when am I going to have time to do that? I don't have time to go to the gym. I don't have time to walk. I don't have time to do these things for stress relief or whatever. It's like then screen time likes to pop up on Sundays and let me know how much time I spend on TikTok every week, and I'm like, yeah, I probably do have time.
Exactly. And that's hard because our culture now, I had another friend that was struggling with anxiety, and she was telling me, she said, man, I turned it all off, and it's amazing how my anxiety went down.
Hmm.
And part of that is we're creating, you got to be able to recognize it. You got to be able to understand it and then label it for what it is. And then it's the comparison, it's the all those other things going on. And so you have to nobody's responsible but you.
Hmm.
So nobody can, your wife's not going to fix it. Your kids aren't going to fix it. A coworker, a preacher, a friend, you have to manage that. That's the hard part.
Yeah.
It's easy to blame and look at everybody else. And it's like, oh, that's really on me, man. I'm not where I need to be. I'm
Hmm.
working on it. Not where I need to be. But it's fixable. It is attainable.
It is fixable, and we've got
God's going to help you.
plenty of resources and things that we can
Like this silly
can help you.
podcast. Hopefully it's helping somebody today.
Hopefully it is. Hopefully it is. Well, do want to recap a few things that we got going on as we get ready to wrap up this episode. But don't forget about Family Fun Night coming up on the 7th from 6 to 8. We're going to have some bingo, some burgers, a scavenger hunt, and
Baptism.
all sorts of
You should
stuff.
have
We
put
got
bingos, burgers, and baptism in there.
bingos,
That's the
burgers,
three
and
big,
baptism.
right?
There we go.
A little alliteration.
That's the Southern way right there.
Yeah.
Bingos, burgers, and baptism. But yeah, we'll have baptism that night as well at 7:30, and that's not just for children and anybody any age that's wanting to get baptized. You're welcome to do that. And then I've also got a promotion breakfast going on August 9th on our promotion Sunday for our sixth graders coming in and their parents and families. So if you've got a incoming sixth grader, we'll be doing a promotion breakfast that Sunday morning, August 9th from 9 to about 9:30. We're just sitting there and kind of chat and let you know what we do as a student ministry, kind of how it's a little different from what they do down in children's ministry, and what that's going to look like for your kid as they
Yeah, that's cool.
embark on this new journey.
What do you feed them for breakfast?
So we did Panera last year. I'm thinking about switching it up. We got
Does a kid even know what Panera is? They can't spell
yeah,
Panera.
and the only one is over in Shreveport. PJ's Coffee apparently does a breakfast sort of item thing, so I'm kind of looking into that, looking into some options.
So
We
you're
gonna see.
doing that more for parents than kids,
Oh yeah, yeah.
because the parents come with their kids.
Yeah, and it's an easy transition for the kids. They can come in and sit in that hour, and their parents will listen, and they'll just sit there and fidget on their phones or whatever. But they can transition right into coming into their first service with the other middle schoolers when the seventh and eighth graders come
I
in,
see. Yeah.
and they're already kind of familiar. It's not a new building. They've met some other sixth grader because I'll make them
Yeah.
do an icebreaker where they
Yeah.
meet somebody and know somebody, so they don't feel alone on that
Yeah.
first
That's
day.
cool. Well, there's a bunch of good kids coming. So.
Oh yeah, we got a good crop, including my sixth grader, Layla.
Oh, the first time he'll be leading his own sixth grader.
I'm a little worried about that because she tell this story, then we can get out of here. So today she was supposed to. She was hanging out with a lot of her cousins today, and she said she wanted to do a Bible lesson for them. I know
That's what I'm talking about.
Courtney did good work with that one.
Yeah.
So she puts together this whole lesson, gets ChatGPT to do all of it, all these things, and
See, that's that AI. In there.
one of them is Jonah and the Whale is the story she's doing, which is funny because we've just been talking about that in middle school for about a month. And she gets to the end, and I forget what the main point they said of the passage was, but she looked at me, she's like, and that's not right, but I'm just gonna go with it because AI said it. I'm like, baby, you can change it. You know, AI isn't the end all be all.
Isn't it crazy that that's the generation right now?
But it is. It is wild. She got on Chat GPT, did it all by herself. Had it printed out, all this stuff. Like, it's amazing.
It's crazy to me.
But yeah, that was just
She's
funny
a great
to me.
kid. Yeah, tell her we got to watch out for AI. Tell her to double check it.
Oh, we gonna be double and triple checking it. But y'all
That's
can
awesome.
double and triple check this podcast as well as any of our messages that we've got online. Podcast will be on YouTube, Facebook, as well as anywhere else you can get your podcast
right.
app, Spotify, all that good stuff. But for
Worry this week. Here it
worry
comes.
coming up this week.
Anxiety.
This is the last week of chill.
Yep.
We got last week of chill. So y'all don't want to miss it. We'll see y'all on Sunday.
All right, babe. We ready.
All right.